Round 13, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to wherever you are watching from all around the world, at home, at work, in the car. Hopefully you're not driving. Welcome to the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8T2 E-Series. We are live to you from Silverstone for the Silverstone 120. My name is Matt Davis. Alongside me tonight, Peter Gretton joining me, and another special guest, Andrew Collins, joining alongside us as well. Boys, interesting racing going to be happening tonight. We've got Rian Leonage going for another win. He's already topping the timing boards as we speak now, and he's ahead by a mile over Dean Alessi. What are your thoughts on it, Pete?
Well, every Wednesday night they bring us entertainment. Hello to all the viewers, and hello to JP behind the screens, and you too, Matt and Andrew. Wednesday night it's not going to be any different, I don't think. It's going to be jam-packed, full of excitement. And, we're just going through quality now, mate, and I can't wait for this one. And I keep saying it every week, but the show is that good when you just sit down and watch these guys go around the track.
Andrew, you're joining us for another round of the GAC. You joined the boys last night, Zach and Chris Kisby, for the NTS. An absolute stellar race last night. Reina Costello storming away with the win there. Your thoughts on tonight, mate? What are you looking forward to for the most?
Expecting much of the same, mate. This would be about the third T2 series I've sat in now. Just trying to learn off you boys. Rian is clearing out, as he said before. Mika, the other young bloke, not too far off him. It looks like the young boys are up the front. Matty Scholes is still up there as well. It's all the usual names up the front, so it's going to be an awesome race, I reckon.
Well, let's bring up the track notes for everybody sitting at home. Why don't we? We'll get to see what it is all about around a Silverstone GP circuit. The Silverstone 120. Track length of 5.891 kilometers to be entirely exact. 21 laps tonight, 123.7 kilometers in distance, just shy of 124 kilometers, ladies and gentlemen. 71.5 litre fuel restriction tonight in the tanks. So they've got a little bit more fuel than what the boys did last night. One pit stop, 4.9 litre fuel burn a lap. So their pit window is going to be roughly around the, I think it was about the 12 lapper mark from memory. If my calculations serve me correct, I didn't write them down earlier. Tyre limit, they have nil or unlimited tyres tonight. 13th of May, 2021 is the date. 14:30, 2:30 in the afternoon is race start. 20 degrees air temp and 33 degrees on track. Now, we actually brought the track temp down for these guys as well. It was absolutely scorching. So changed up the race server just a little bit, just to give them a little bit more grip under those cars. Otherwise, they'll be slipping and sliding all over the track. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 kilometers wind speed in a northerly direction. So not going to play much havoc again down the two main straights, long main straights that we've got. There's actually three on this circuit, as you see it up on screen there. But Rian Leonage at the top of the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, 2:03.75. He is on fire, but Ty Turner just puts in a fast lap for himself, up into second position with a 2:03.87. So he is hot on Leonage's heels. Dean Alessi down in third. Mika Limassuria had a great race last week. Can't remember his second race for the Super Sprint was much of the same, but he is on for another good show by the looks of it, as one of the Liquid Moly entries just goes off track there. Resets for another lap, hot lap before the session ends. Just clocked over 5 minutes to go. Brian Good down in 15, Reddit in 6th, Matty Scholes in 7th, Mitch Campbell and Dan Stevens was 8th and 9th. But I just had a leaderboard change there. Dylan Pereira just gets promoted up into 4th position there with the 2:04.12. So Dylan Pereira in 4th. That now promotes Matty Scholes, Mitch Campbell, and Dan Stevens down to 8th, 9th, and 10th. Stephen Martin knocking on the top 10 there. Boys, Silverstone, it's a long track, nearly 6 kilometers. Tire degradation is high if you don't get it right. If you light the rear tyres up too much, which is very easy to do, and if you understeer too much and lock up a brake, which is very easy to do, You will be bringing the temps up in those tyres, so that's something the boys are going to have to be looking out for, Peter.
Yeah, that's right. And I think there's going to be a couple of little, not too many different strategies out there with the tyres because you've only got the one stop. But you're dead right when you say it's all about looking after the tyres, especially the rear. So it's going to be a throttle game to try and get the exits right. And there's not too much worry, I suppose, of running off track into a wall. But if you run off the outside, there's plenty of grass, there's plenty of gravel to stop you. But what that does is it's just going to push you back because you're going to lose a lot of position. I don't think we're going to see too many runaway cars out here tonight. I think it's going to be some close racing.
Pit stops, the strategy is going to be key around here, ladies, tonight. Dylan Pereira on screen at the moment in the DSL entry. It's a bit of a quiet pre-race show here at the moment. We're coming off an absolute heated super sprint round. We've got the championship points to go through as well, ladies and gentlemen, which we can bring up on track. Someone decides to take a shortcut through the track to exit out. Yeah, I was about to say he's not taking a shortcut to get out on the main straight there because that would have been a slowdown penalty and he would have had to have slowed down quite a lot. Nicky G, our man, out in front with a close David Nash behind him in second, 1,596 points to 1,595. Rian Leonage was able to bump up his points and fight for the championship lead. He's now on 1,572 points after his round win and a race win. His first one of the series last week over at Donington. Was hop, skip, and a jump, just a stone throw down the road. Dan Stevens, Matty Scholes in fourth, Dan Stevens in fifth, Daryl Hockey and Kai Turner in sixth and seventh. Eighth is Damien Cairns. Ninth is Dean Alessi, and rounding out the top 10 is Tony Gaffer. We'll let them scroll through for you as we talk about the closing rounds coming up. We go to Road Atlanta next week. And then we've got two. I think we've got Spa and then Bathurst from the top of my head to round out the season. Coming into the back end of the championship, it is definitely heating up, ladies and gentlemen. It is getting close at the front of the field in that top 10. Boys, if you were a driver, what would your thoughts be if you were Nicky G, David Nash, and Rehan Leonage right now fighting for the top three?
You've also got the two drop rounds that come into play around round 15, I think it is. So they've got that under their belt as well. So something to keep in mind there.
Peter?
Yeah, I think the long game, I suppose, getting to the later end of the championship, you've got your plan and you just hope now it's consistency plays out to the end. Like you said, only a few rounds to go. I think they'd be looking at whether their plan's exactly where it is or where they wanted it to be at the start of the season and just, I don't know, make a guess from there. Well, not a guess, I suppose a judged guess, but and just, I don't know, to be honest, Matt, it's a hard one. It depends on how your season's gone.
It all comes down to the dying moments. Those two drop rounds do play key, ladies and gentlemen, as we click over 5 seconds to go in qualifying. The last flying laps for our drivers before they start gridding up. Just got a word in my back here. Sorry, JP. Rian Leonage, as I look over to my other screen, 2:03.53. So that is 3/10 of a second over Kai Turner to take out pole position as qualifying ends up. I don't believe Kai Turner is out on track. It says in the pits on mine. Jamie Davis is out on track at the moment. Mika Limasura, Dylan Pereira, and Matty Scholes. Those four guys will be able to fight Rehan for the top position there. But it's no one's gone purple as I hear as well. So it's coming in the dire moments. Don't forget as well, ladies and gentlemen, and the boys in the booth, you've got the bonus points as well. You've got your clean round, which is 5 points, and you've got your pole position. So Leonage picks up another 5 bonus points if he stays on top, which by the looks of it, he's going to be staying on top tonight for pole position to lead the field away into the first corner at Silverstone. So he's banking an extra 5 points there. which is definitely going to help. It's all about clean driving, Randy. We promote it by not getting a 0 or by not getting a 1x, 2x, or a 4x. Or off track, loss of car control and car contact. So that is one thing that we do promote.
I don't think we had anyone had a clean race last night. It was definitely all in show for it last night. But one of the things I found around here, Matty, last night was you get caught behind a car. It doesn't seem that easy to pass. Am I right in believing that, or?
It is tricky to pass around Silverstone. There's what you see on track and what you see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, is it looks like there is a lot of overtaking opportunities, but they're very slim to none. You've got a lot of curved braking zones, a lot of hard braking zones, downhill braking zones, trail braking zones. So it does play tricky. As that wraps up our qualifying session, we'll bring the grid up for you in a moment's time as well, ladies and gentlemen, as we'll find out where everybody's going to sit on the field. As your track notes are there on screen, we're only sitting 147 meters above sea level as well, and the second stop for England tonight, and then we head back to the States for Road Atlanta. So we say goodbye to the UK tonight and head over back stateside for an absolute stellar track, Road Atlanta, with a lot of elevation change out there. So that's going to be a cracking one to watch. Make sure you don't miss out on that one. And don't miss out on the Super Series as well on the Tuesday night. Those boys are going to be leading away and showing us how it's going to be done. And also Saturday night as well for a little bit of oval racing. So we'll bring those up exactly what times and what we're going to be doing later on in the broadcast, in the post-race show. Just waiting for our track times, or it's not track times, I should say, but our starting grid to pop up. Drivers are gridding up all over my screen. JP will flick up our starting grid in a moment's time, and we will be able to see. Here we go on the first row. Rian Leonage and Kai Turner. Rian Leonage with another pole position. So those guys are going to be leading the field away. Jamie Davis and Mikel Masuria out of row 2. Row 3 is Dean Alessi and Dylan Pereira. Row 4, Brian Good, Matty Scholes. Dean Reddit, Robbie Bradbury out of row 5. Mitch Campbell and Dan Stevens out of row 6. Steve Mart and Nicky G out of 7. Jonathan Bain and Paul Gerlin out of row 8. Aaron Raccanello and Robert Brewer out of row 9. Row 10 will see Tony Gaffer and Sam Noble line up together. Row 11 will see Philip Dalton and Stephen Banks line up together. Anton Gilbert from E1 Sim Sports and Peter Kelly will round out row 12 there. And Craig Caspar, Colin Bruns, row 13. Andrew Johnson, Stephen Black, the two teammates on row 14. And Todd Martin will bring up the rear of the field. Blake Urquhart, our Goodyear Autocare Warana safety car driver for the night. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Silverstone 120. Their drivers are all lined up. The revs are going to be rising any moment now. They're waiting for those red lights to pop up in front of their screens to lead us away into turn 1. Who's going to get the jump tonight? Jamie Davis is looking racy. Rian Leonage looking for a back-to-back win tonight. Kai Turner, can he make amends? Can he get up there and win another race? Jamie Davis, can he win a race, first race for his season? It's all going to come down to what's going to happen at Silverstone tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a delay on the start at the moment. Maybe Barney, our flagman, has told the communications tower to give him a little bit of a hurry on. Well, here we go. Lights are up on screen, ladies and gentlemen. Get the countdown going at home. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are underway for the Silverstone 120. Rian Leonage gets an absolute flying start. Dean Alessi with a cracking start, putting pressure all over Mikel Masuria. Kai Turner into turn 1 up the inside of Leonage and gets the move done.
Oh,
big
something
spin
in the background there.
Big spin in the back. They look like Craig Caspar and Dean Reddit in the background. We'll come back to that one in a moment's time. Masuria is through. Leonage dropping down the field all the way to 27th. What has happened to Rian Leonage on the pole and then drops all the way back to the back of the field? Promotes Masuria up into second. Dean Alessi into third. Jamie Davis has fallen back down into 4th position. Dylan Pereira in 5th. Brian Good in 6th, Dan Stevens 7th, Matty Scholes 8th, Jonathan Bain and Mitch Campbell ran out your top 10. Kai Turner with a blistering start along with Limasuria lead you through the big sweeping U-turn. Second gear corner through there. Easy on the power on the cold tyres. Little bit of a quiet start, and there's the safety car. They've all slowed down. The safety car out on lap 1 by the looks of it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll bring up the replays for you and find out what happened to Leonage. Boys, what is going on? There's a big accident at the start. Leonage gets a great start, drops all the way back down to the back of the field.
Yeah, that's interesting. You got Sam Noble's jumped up 8 spots. Robert Brower 7. Colin Burns is up 7 as well. So there's a few people that have made a bit of a move after whatever happened in the background there.
Peter, what could have happened to Leonage? He's just dropped off out of nowhere. He was on for a cracking race, and then all of a sudden just goes. Pete, what may have gone wrong?
What I think, Matt, is I think it's a hardware issue or a network issue on his end, because you can't actually get to see him in the server. If you click on him, it's just going to a different view. So that's unfortunate, because he was one of the favourites, as he is here every week. But I think the internet's got him this week.
The old NBN plays havoc again. So we'll get a replay of what happened at the start between Dean Reddit and, by the looks of it, Robbie Bradbury and Craig Casper. Big spin coming into turn 1. Oh! I just punched the DSL entry from behind.
Sort of missed
and then
it there.
Craig Casper gives the old punt into the side of Dean Reddit there. So nowhere to go. Car's not moving. Dean Reddit gets mobile again, but by the looks of it, Craig Casper had to call the tow truck. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what brought out Blake Urquhart in the Goodyear Autocare Warana safety car. Saying that, where is our safety car out on track? Is he bed off into the distance already?
Having a bit of a race of his own, Blake.
There he is. By the looks of it, he's out the front a little bit more. There's Blake Urquhart in the Lamborghini GT3 safety car with the Goodyear Autocare Warana livery plastered all over it, and as beautiful as it looks. Boys, interesting start already, Pete. It's saving a little bit of fuel now under safety car. They'll be clutching in, coasting as much as they can so they can stretch out this fuel stint. If you were Kai Turner, Mikel Masura, Dean Alessi, what would your plan be for fuel? Would it be run the tank dry or come in early and try and get a little bit of a pip?
Well, I think my first point would be would run the fuel out. Run the fuel out as long as I can, and then fuel up and go to the end. But you know, we're seeing a first lap safety car here, so that would, I don't know, to be honest, Matt. It'd probably have to depend on safety cars, and safety cars breed safety cars, and it doesn't matter what cars you drive, and it's always going to be the same. So I think keeping up with the race and with the leaders, staying on top of them, that's probably what I'd do at the for now, I think.
It'd all depend on whether you think you're being held up by the cars in front, wouldn't you? If you think you're a faster, then these guys know how to make these cars pretty wide when they want to, so you always jump in, but then you're obviously not going to make it home from here, so you'll have to double stop. So it is an interesting question.
There's definitely a lot of field strategies and pit strategies to be played out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Still under safety car, lap 2 of 21. A little bit of a shorter race tonight for the boys than they had last night in the Super Series. Silverstone, nearly 6 kilometres, 21 laps. That is a long time to be out on track. Blake Urquhart dives into the pits with the safety car. Hands the field back over to Kai Turner. And I've just got some interesting news to tell, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, we will get back to the race start. Kai Turner puts the pedal to the metal and gets a jump over Mikel Limasuria and makes a run for turn 1. Kai Turner has bolted. Mikel Limasuria in hot pursuit. Dean Alessi just behind Jamie, with Jamie Davis as well. Dylan Pereira in hot pursuit of these front runners here. Brian Good, Stan Stevens, Matty Scholes, Jonathan Bain, and Mitch Campbell round out your top 10. Through turn 4 they go. Into turn 5. A lot of sharp corners around here. Miguel Masuria now making up ground on Kai Turner. Making up those little bit of inches. Gets under the rear wing for the straightening, cops that slipstream. Tucks right in behind Kai Turner to get a run. Does he have a look? Pokes the nose out. No, he doesn't. Tucks back in behind and through the corner they go again. Kai Turner making that Commodore as wide as possible. Another one to note, boys. It is a Holden dominant field in the GAC. There is a, I believe it's a nearly an 80% Holden field. So very interesting to see. As Kai Turner comes around with Miguel Limasura still in hot pursuit. Jamie Davis still trying to make up some ground to these guys. Dean Alessian just behind him as well with Dylan Pereira in hot pursuit. Dylan Pereira hasn't had that great of a round lately in the GAC. He's had a few little mishaps, hoping to make amends tonight and get up on the podium. Ronnie Missouri all over the back of Kai Turner now gives him a little bit of a tap on the rear bumper. There's, g'day mate, I'm here, Peter. Mika's looking very racy tonight.
Definitely is, and I just go back quickly to the start. I did notice that he did have a little bit of a stall off the start, but to get the time back up, and he's back into second. He's right behind Kai Turner, and he got 2 cars behind him. And they're super quick as well, Davis and Alessi. And battle, I think there's 5 cars in this train right now. A little bit of a gap before you go back to, I think, Scholes.
Ryan Good
and then
back in 6th and 7th.
That's right. So he's got 2 little battles, 2 little 5-car battles. I think it's going to heat up. And they, line astern. How good does that look too? And shout out to Track Camps for Gourmets for all them awesome camera shots.
Matty Scholes, fastest lap of the race at 2:04.18. He's the fastest car on field by nearly a second, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, so I lie, by just under a tenth. I just saw Jamie Davis's time there with the 2:04.2. So Jamie Davis on fire as well to catch up to these 2 leaders who are deciding to bolt from the rest of this pack and leave them behind. That 5-car train has now stretched into a 2-car battle, a lonesome battle. As there's Anton Gilbert around at the back of the field. His teammate Andrew Johnson goes around the outside of him. And who did he make contact with? The 83 of Peter Kelly. Peter Kelly, Anton Gilbert there comes through. Having a good battle there with the
33.
Oh,
Has he done that on
Kelly
his own?
gave
Or?
him a little bit of a nudge. Gives the redress. Good racing there. Very, very nicely well done by Peter Kelly to redress the position before race control could do something. So there'll be no call there from Anton for race control as the redress was done. Race control will have a nice easy one with that one. Back to the lead though. Kai Turner still leading. Mika Limasuria right up under the rear bumper now. He's in the slipstream and making up time. As I look up the inside, what does he do with it? Does he get it done? Kai Turner on the outside. Side by side, door to door. Jamie Davis gets in amongst the mix as well. What can Jamie Davis do up into the final corners? On the outside, he's tucks back up under the rear bar. Mika Limasuria now takes control of the race. Mika Limasuria leading the Silverstone 120 now. Kai Turner is going to have a lot of work cut out for him to get past this kid. He is a young gun. The second oldest. Should I say the second youngest in the field tonight. Rian Lienage, obviously being the youngest driver. Mika Limasuria, I think, is 12 years of age. So he's really showing it up to these guys who are 2-3 times the age of him. Kai Turner now putting immense pressure all over the back of Limasuria. Bit of a scrap going on behind him as they all file out into single file again. Dylan Pereira in 14, Alessi in 5th now, having their own little battle.
Has got some pace too, has Dylan Pereira. I've been watching this battle heat up. They're side by side as they come around. And, look at that gap as well from the Mika Limasuria and Kai Turner for 1st and 2nd. I think Mika's pulling away as they come down the straight, and Davis is right on the back, I think, behind him. This battle's not going to end, and I think you mentioned in the pre-show, Matt, that pit stops should start to be happening at around about lap 12. So I think the way they're driving, there's still plenty of green racing to be had. It doesn't look like many errors. Oh, this 3 here, but I think Kai Turner's putting in a couple of little dubby dives there just to try and get into the mirror, but they're doing a good job, aren't they?
Kai Turner throwing it up the inside. Jamie Davis now has a look. How about this for a camera angle, ladies and gentlemen? Looking at the back of Mika Limasuria's Nationwide Technology Systems entry. ZB Commodore. Looking down the eyes of Kai Turner. Jamie Davis now jumps that curb. Trying to put some more pressure on Kai Turner to get around him and take second position away.
Yeah, timing come back up. It dropped out there for a second, but
yeah, my timing. Yeah, my timing screen's just had a little bit of a meltdown. We've just got a few technical issues on this end of the boards, ladies and gentlemen, in our broadcast hub. There we go. Our SDK is back and running now. Andrew.
Sorry, mate.
That's all right, mate. Andrew, it's already very interesting. It's the pack is spread out. There is a big battle going on from 9th to 16th, but other than that, the pack's very well spread out. They're all single filing around. There's not too much getting thrown around as we see a couple cars. Have a look up in the background there coming down one of the straights. Not too much energy getting produced around Silverstone. It's almost like a Hockenheim GP almost.
Yeah, it's pretty much only the front two, isn't it? They were 0.3 of a second off each other. The rest seem to be just following line astern and pretty much the same gap between them all. So,
Peter.
Yeah, I think we touched on in the pre-show that it's going to be for the long game for the championships, as you see a drive-through penalty for car 919 for contact with car 740 on lap 4. But I think they're all playing the end game now, Matty. I think for this race and the championship's only got a few rounds to go, and this is probably why you can see they're all just line astern. But I don't think they're going to stay like this very long. It's only going to take a safety car and or the last 5 laps of the race. It's you know, I think they're smart guys here.
Our man Nicky G in trouble here, but looks like he's just got a little bit of front damage there. Doesn't look like he can get the car turned in too well either. That car contact as well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Anton Gilbert against Paul Gerlin there. So Anton Gilbert with a drive-through penalty, a bit unlucky there, especially getting spun around a little bit earlier on. Mika Limassuria now out in front by nearly a second over Kai Turner. Jamie Davis in hot pursuit, still only half a second down in 3rd position there. And then it's 2.5 seconds back to Dylan Pereira and Dean Alessi having their battle for 4th position there. And it's another second back to Brian and Matty Scholes as Dylan Pereira makes a mistake and drops down the field a couple positions. So Dylan Pereira went off the track and he's dropping positions very, very quickly. 16th, 17th, 18th, he's dropping like a fly. So something has happened to Dylan Pereira. Has he gone into the wall or has he had an internet issue as well? A lot of issues going on. We saw that it was NBN not NBN, it was blown motor for Dylan Pereira. That brings out the safety car again because he will be needing a tow and he's in a dangerous spot for the track just there, ladies and gentlemen.
One of JP's own sponsored cars there too, so that's not good. No.
There's Al Welding from the SimShed broadcasting crew who brings you this stream as well. And while the boys file into single file here, Andrew and Pete, and we get the second safety car for the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8T2 E-Series at Silverstone. And it'd be a good time to run through some sponsors. So, Obviously, it's not possible without these guys, ladies and gentlemen. We thank them week in, week out. If I get my words out correctly. Week in, week out, we thank these guys. Goodyear Autocare Warana V8, should I say Goodyear Autocare Warana for the V8T2 E-Series and being our main sponsor. Blue Stampede, Jesus, I'm struggling to spit them out tonight. The Blue Stampede Labour Hire, as you can see on the safety car sign there. They are our co-naming rights sponsors. We've also got the Hybrid Racing Simulations Championship and unofficial and official race results board there as well. As Jamie Davis flies down into the pits, he's going for the pit stop. Matty Scull's in as well, so that's it. Our first pit stops for the race. Jonathan Bain as well. Our pit lane is lighting up. So what is this going to mean?
They're going to have to run to stop there, aren't they? Now?
No, so on a tank of fuel, I just redid my calculations as well. 14.6 laps they get to a tank of fuel. So it's going to be with a safety car 2 laps. So they should be able to stretch this out to somewhat near 18 laps on a single tank. So technically now is the pit window to get it in and get them home. At lap 8, ladies and gentlemen, will be the window to get them home. They'll be able to fill up and they will be able to get the cars home, and they'll also be able to take on fresh tyres. So that's going to be interesting to see. The boys have really rolled the pin on this one. So who's going to come out on top after this? Does Mika Limasuria wait to that lap 18 and go for a new set of tyres with low fuel and then run the car home? We'll just have to wait and see. Also, a few extra sponsors to thank. SimSnap Photography for all the replay action that you are seeing, and there is plenty of it. Obviously, SDK Gaming for all these amazing overlays. Track cams for Gourmet for these amazing track cams. And Abruzzi Racewear for all your sim and racing needs for all your racewear on that one. So a big thank you to those guys. SimShed Broadcasting as well for putting this all on with JP on the controls, mixing it up, throwing the overlays up, throwing the camera angles around. That man does a lot of work and he doesn't get enough thanks and praise for it. So a big thank you to him, especially when he's undergoing his own course and he finishes up just that little bit earlier to bring you guys what you are seeing on your screens tonight. A little bit of panel damage already over Mika Limasuria's car. That's not going to affect him too much. Blake Urquhart, already a busy night in the office for him in that GT3. Twice now he's been out on track. So he's had a workout. He's going a little bit straighter, though, than what Lee Davis did last night, Andrew.
Certainly is. Certainly is. When Blake ran last night, I think he got 16th. I think he finished last night in the NCS series. So what a capable driver in his own right.
Definitely a capable driver, Blake Urquhart. He has finished well inside the top 10, and he's also had a couple podiums, if memory serves me right. So he's a formidable driver that's up and coming in the Super Series and one to look out for in next season. Silverstone, a tricky circuit though. Not sure if you boys have actually done many laps around here, Peter.
I haven't, no, not around the GP track. I do like the national layout of it. But, you know, GP, when you, Silverstone, when you say Silverstone, my mind automatically clicks to F1s. I'm a massive fan of sitting back at home on the couch and watching the F1s go around here. And Urquhart is in the pit lane now, so I'll hand it over to you, Matty. We're just about to go green.
Andrew, I'll get back to you on that one for Silverstone, mate, as Mika Limasuria leads the field away. 3 people jump into the pit lane, though, on the restart, so they are going to be dropping down miles behind the field. Mika Limasuria into turn 1, Kai Turner in hot pursuit, Dan Alessi, Brian Good, Mitch Campbell, Robert Brewer, Sam Noble, Aaron Rackanoe, Dean Redder, and Matty Scholes rounding out your top 10 for your restart, ladies and gentlemen. On board with Robert Brewer now, putting pressure on Mitch Campbell going into turn 1. My internet plays up just a tiny little bit and I lag out. NBN at its finest. Everybody's having issues tonight. Blown motors, NBN playing up, hardware failure. You gotta love it.
Brewer's up 11 spots, I think, there, Matty. So he's had quite a
Noble
race.
up 22 positions.
How about that?
Sam Noble with an absolute stellar start already. Drive so far. Oh, hasn't pitted. There we go. Matty Scholes is, oh, there we go. Matty Scholes is first to pit. He's in the box seat to take the win. Does Matty Scholes rolled the dice and played it right? Has he done it right? Andrew?
I think he has, mate. I think the leaders should have gone in with him. It'd be silly, that you may not get another safety car now, so they might have to do it under green, which will hurt them immensely. And give Scholesy, interesting, Scholesy is not in 100% clean air, but he has got a bit of room in front of him, so we'll see where it plays out. But the leaders definitely should have driven in when the safety car came out, in my opinion. That's what I would have done.
Well, Matty Scholes has his teammate in front of him, Dean Reddit. So that will be getting played to Matty Scholes' advantage. Hopefully Dean Reddit can take Scholesy along for the ride. On screen now with Robert Brewer and Sam Noble from the 9-5 Sim Sport team. Racecraft Simulations plastered on the bonnet with the F Suicide. All over the back of Robert Brewer. Big slide into the final corners for Robert Brewer in the mega cheer. Get a mega cheer going for that one, ladies and gentlemen. That was a save and a half. Through the final corner, they go out on the main straight. Sam Noble all over the back, tucks up under the rear wing. Miguel Emeserio with the fastest lap of the race. 204.03, almost in the 203s. That is blistering on new tyres, on used tyres. That is quick.
Not far off qualifying time, really, is
That is absolutely blistering quick. That is qualifying time there, Andrew. It's that is insanely quick for used tyres. So it'd be interesting to see what that young gun can do on brand new tyres. A little bit of a wiggle coming down to the straight for Sam Noble. Dean Reddit now on screen behind Aaron Racanella in the Dragon RC entry. A little bit of a nose out by Racanella to have a look up the inside of Sam Noble. Doesn't get a move done though. Those Dragon Eyes will be all in the mirrors of Sam Noble though, and that is something you do not want to see coming up behind you, Peter.
No, definitely not. And what I've just seen there is that Reddit he's come into the picture as well, but you can see this gap that's on stream now, and that's off the back of Sam Noble's cars. He's doing awesome, isn't it? But this little battle, and this is for seventh and 8th.
And it goes all the way. No, it's 7th. It's 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the battle is for here. A nice little train going on there. The leaders have checked out a little bit. Matty Skyturner's only half a second away from Miguel Imasuria there. Big gap, a little bit of a gap to Dean Alessi and Brian Good. And then Mitch Campbell all over the back of Brian Good now as Dan Stevens is on your screen in the, I believe that's the Middle Finger Racing entry. Round the outside he goes. Round the outside he goes. Jamie Davis just up in front of them. All over Dean Reddit by the looks of it. Jamie Davis on your screen in the foreground there. Dan Stevens gets the move done. Runs a little bit wide though. He's going to be under pressure here to get the power down. Gets the run around the outside onto the main straight. Runs it wide. Nicky G and Tony Gaffer having a little bit of a battle of their own, push and shove. Nicky G up on the inside now, doesn't get it done. Dan Stevens flies on through.
Scholesey's jumped Davis there, his teammate, so.
Yeah, Scholesey has jumped Reddit there. Jamie Davis now all over Reddit. Dean Reddit up on the inside. Little bit of a bump to Jamie Davis from Dean Reddit. Puts Jamie Davis sideways. That promotes Dan Stevens up into 11th position. No bump. I believe he did that himself. Our director is telling me. So,
yeah,
looked like he had a little bit of a bump with how the car reacted, but that could have been a little bump in the road and a little bit of a slide. Andrew?
He just pushed him a bit wide and he got up on the ribble strip and slid over the top of that, to be honest. But I could be wrong.
Peter, your second week now in the GAC. Mate, these drivers, action-packed.
It definitely is. And as you said before, that it's like a 10-car battle almost. They're close enough to just about call it a battle. The cars that we're watching on screen now. And still got 10 laps to go. I don't think the leaders have pit, but are they going to get enough gap to do it under green if necessary? Time will tell.
No, I
Time will
don't.
tell.
I'm going to say no to that one. It is back to Matty Scholes from Mikel Masuria as he's under immense pressure at the moment from Kai Turner.
Only
It is
8.5
8
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
Mikel Masuria and Kai Turner stays out. So let's see how this one plays out, ladies and gentlemen. Mikel Masuria now in the pits. Ryan Good, Mitch Campbell follow suit, Sam Noble as well. Kai Turner, Dean Alessi, Robert Brewer, Aaron Rakanoa stay out. So Matty Scholes effectively is our race leader at the moment.
Jumping up to 5th there now. So it's 8.5 seconds. There's no way they're going to be able to do a pit stop under green and come out in front of him. So he's in the box.
Well, Mikel Masuria dropping down the field, 15 seconds, 16th. He's just got into his bay. It's a long pit lane transit down Silverstone, ladies and gentlemen. So Mikel Masuria is paying the consequences. 30 seconds, 40, 35 seconds. He is miles away from the lead. There he is, out of the pit lane, 37, 38. He's going to be nearly a half a lap down on these guys out in front. So Mikel Masuria in 16th, Kai Turner up in front. They're still yet to pit. Matty Scholes is now 9.5 seconds off the lead. So he's had a little bit of a fumble somewhere along the lines there to drop a second. But effectively, being the first one to pit, he is effectively our race leader at the moment. So he's played the dice. He's rolled it correct. He knows he can get home, but
Aaron Racanello not far off him. So
no, well, Aaron Racanello is still yet to pit as well. So
right.
He's going to be dropping down the field. Has Matty Scholes, though, done his fuel calculations correct, Pete? And is he going to be able to get home? That's going to be the big question.
It's definitely going to be tight, but what that's going to do is he's going to have the pace with the empty fuel load, but he's also going to have the dirtier tyres. But I think pitting under yellow was probably the good thing to do, and you know they're all smart guys, and I think you called it as well earlier on, Matt. They could stretch it home. They could get home from lap 8, so hopefully it's a gamble, but as we see a busy pit lane
come in.
Kai and Dean in the pits at last. Aaron Racanolo as well. Robert Brewer stays out for one more lap. He goes, I want to have a race lead for a little bit. It's not probably going to last long because Matty Scholes is hot on his heels. But there it is, Kai Turner, Dean Reddit up on the jack stands, taking tyres, taking fuel. They are in their pits and they too are dropping down the field. But where do they come out in relation to Mikel Masuria? Here he is on screen now. Did Kai Turner get a good in-lap for him? Kai's moving. He's out of the pit lane. Where does it come out to Mikel Masuria? He jumps him. Mikel Masuria gets in front of Kai Turner. So that's worked out for Mika. He's had a good outlap. Kai Turner not too far down the road for him. So Kai Turner with a 19.1 to make a Masuria of a 16.3. So 3 seconds difference in the pit stop time there for Mika and Kai. But that one's an interesting one. Did Kai take on that little bit of extra fuel just because he may be burning that little bit of extra fuel as well, trying to make up amends? But is the race done? Will the safety car come out? It's only lap 13 of 21, ladies and gentlemen. There's still plenty of racing left. It's 2 minutes a lap, and it's a long race to go.
It's only Brow. Sorry, mate. It's only Brow to go in, and then Scholes will have clear air, and I reckon should be able to run away with this one, unless there is a safety car, of course.
Well, that is the only thing the boys can hope for right now, boys. Is Mika and Kai will be praying to the god of speed up above for a safety car. We don't want to see anyone crash out or blow a motor. But if you're a driver right now sitting down in 12th and 13th, who effectively had the race lead, but forgot or made the mistake not to pit under the safety car, as Jamie Davis jumps over the curb, and with immense pressure from Nicky G behind him. There we go. Robbie Brewer in the pits. Matty Scholes jumps to the lead. He's back in the lead for the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8T2 E-Series with 8 laps to go. You wouldn't want to be seeing anyone dropping out of the race, but if you're a driver, that would be the first wish that would be coming to mind, Pete.
Yeah, mate, for sure. I think those guys that haven't pit, they've really gambled on another safety car. We've already seen 2. I think we're going to probably in the next 5 or 6 laps, if we stay green, get a good idea of how the grid's going to end up, possibly. But oh, look at this move almost.
Ooh.
Jonathan Bain up on the inside, pushes Tony Gaffer wide. Tony Gaffer runs wide. Jonathan Bain on the outside, door-to-door action, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side under the main straight. Oh, it's not the main straight, my apologies.
Gaffer's another one that's up 17 spots. So
yeah, Gaffer has had a good run around this. We might jump on board as well with Matty Skull, see where he is. He's about just over halfway around the track at the moment on my timing board. So might jump on board with him and grab a hot lap. Oh, there goes a car off the field. A car to the infield as well, as we just quickly saw it. That was Dan Stevens taking the shortcut, mowing the ground. Oh, that was super close. Jonathan Bain with a heart attack moment as his teammate rejoins on the track. Miguel Emisuri with a fastest lap. 203.99, 204 flat. That is absolutely bristling. We'll get a quick replay for you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is a pass. Nicky G. Oh, no. Jamie Davis gets into Dan Stevens there. Nicky G with a run on Jamie Davis. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen, for a great move by the man in the Goodyear Autocare entry. Up on the inside, hard on the brakes. Gets it done. Yeah. Jamie Davis back around on the inside as well. So look at that. Side by side, switching positions, left, right, and centre. We just missed out on a lap with Matty Skulls, but we will stay on board and see how he handles it around. You can get the onboard view.
He's got his teammate in behind him too to hopefully block for him. So
no, Jamie Davis isn't his teammate. Actually, it's the auto-serve entry of auto-serve racing. So right, sim racing and auto-serve, and then Goodyear Autocare Warana Esports out in 3rd position. So 3 different teams up on the podium for you, ladies and gentlemen. As you see the speed clocking around, I actually have not done a lap around here for the GP, so I won't be able to commentate on this one, unfortunately, and give you a quick rundown. But what we can do in half a lap's time is get that volume cranked all the way up, turn it up as loud as you can, and we will get you to listen to 650 horsepower going around the Silverstone GP circuit, brought to you by Matty Scholes from the Riot Sim Racing Squad, as he comes down the straight now and clicks it into top gear. Top of 6th gear at 250k an hour before it's hard on the brakes with a long sweeping trail braking bend. So, ladies and gentlemen, grab yourself a beer, grab yourself a wine, a scotch, whatever you drink at home. Turn that volume all the way up as Matty Scholes comes into the final corners, and listen to him tackle the V8 Supercar around the Silverstone GP circuit.
Take it away, Matty.
How was that, ladies and gentlemen? Matty Scholes, our race leader, taking you for an absolute flying lap around Silverstone. It actually wasn't too flying. It was a 2:05.84, so one of his slowest laps of the race. For this stint, Brian Good on screen with you right now in the 4.69.
4 laps to go, though. I think he's got
Entry.
it covered.
4 laps to go, though. Thank you, Andrew, for the reminder. I did just see that. 4 laps to go. Miguel Masuria now in 11th position, making the move on Stephen Banks in the Century Motorsport to promote himself into that top 10. He's had a fair drive back all the way down in 16th position. Around the outside, door-to-door action. Miguel Masuria now with a little bit more of a run. Starting further back down the corner. Gets the run up on the inside. Little bit of net coat happening there for Stephen Banks.
Appeared. Yeah,
Little bit of net issues for him. Everyone's copping it tonight. Miguel Masuria now up in a 10th position, nice and comfortably. He's now firing after Peter Kelly to get that 9th. Hoping for a safety car in the final couple laps. It's not going to happen though. Unfortunately, only 4 laps to go. It's not going to happen. Lap 17 of 21 around the Silverstone GP circuit for the Silverstone 120. Dan Stevens on your screen with some front end panel damage. That's not affected him too much as he understeers through the corner.
Few of those middle finger racing boys out there, isn't there? There must be about 4 or 5 of them, I reckon.
Yeah, no, there's quite a few MFR boys out on track. It's an MFR style. Jamie Davis and Nicky G. Low down by the looks of it for Jamie Davis. Nicky G gets the run on him down the straight. Saw it happen last night. Multiple times to Matty Hill. So what happens here? Did Jamie Davis cop a slow down a bit earlier? Yes, by the looks of it he did. He lets Nicky G pass with ease. So there was a slowdown there for Jamie Davis. This, though, helps Nicholas Gierich with his championship lead. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following this series nice and close, you'll see one of our drivers who is fighting for the championship win is missing. David Nash, unfortunately, could not be here tonight. Obviously, outside of the sim world, the commitments in life obviously came first. So, David, I hope you're watching at home, mate. I hope you're enjoying the race. The boys are up there doing you proud tonight, mate. Don't forget you've got those 2 drop rounds, so use them wisely. Tonight may be one of them. Dean Reddit on your screen now. Gosh, those new liveries for those Riot Sim Racing boys are looking amazing, along with that DSL welding livery that JP has whipped up for Dylan Pereira there. And Paul Gerland as well. Paul Gerland on your screen now. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. JP, the man himself. He actually, I lie. He's in my ear telling me I didn't whip him up. Don't give me the credit. The credit goes to Dwan from iLiveries. And look at the job he's done. He's done a fantastic job on my helmet. He's done a fantastic job on JP's liveries. If you want all that done, go check out iLiveries on Facebook and check out the work he does as well. They are absolutely amazing. Back to the race lap 18 of 21.
You can see the gap skulls he's got there. I can't see G catching him in 3.
Miguel Masuria all over the back of his teammate Peter Kelly now. Matty Scholes out and he is checked out. He's done a Reina Costello. He's out to 4.3 seconds over Nicky G with Jamie Davis hot on the heels of Nick. Now Miguel Masuria looks up the inside of Peter Kelly, his teammate, gets the position done. That's P9. Thank you very much. On to Stephen Martin now from the Century Motorsport team for 8th position. Jamie Davis and Nicholas Gierich fighting down the main straight. Side by side they go into turn 1. Jamie Davis up the inside. Thank you very much. Gets the move done on Nicky G. But he's not giving up. Little bit of a squiggle through turn 2. Up onto the back on inside, little bit of a touch. What does he do? Big slide coming out. Gives the position back to Jamie Davis, lets him have it comfortably. The battle is back on now for 2nd position. Matty Scholes checking out now, 6.7 seconds.
This
He's
would be the
done a
one to
Reina
stay on.
Costello. He
Yeah, this battle's heating up. There's only 2 laps to go. And Nicky G, you've already spoke about him, and these 3 cars behind him. I think it was smart for him to pit, and this is why they're taken off from the field, especially goals 6.4, but battle's on just behind him, and there's not much gap in between them as well at all. I mean, Davis and Nicky G. I mean, Skull's taken off, sorry, and them two. And the battle's heating up.
Yeah, I think that does. Looks like Jamie Davis is now he's in front. He seems to be pulling away just that little bit on Nicky G, doesn't he? But they seem to be faster in different parts of the track, so it can be deceiving.
You look at all them cars there. I think there's about 7 cars. There's a bit of distance between them, but only takes one little mess up, and especially when they're pushing this hard.
Yeah.
As Nicky G leads this train around, but only takes one error. I don't want to put the curse on them. I think they will be right to the end, but look at that livery.
Jonathan Baines now closed right up on these boys as these two have been battling. It has now promoted Jonathan Baines, Tony Gaffer, Dan Stevens, Robbie Bradbury, and Stephen Martin into the battle. And then it's another 7 seconds back to Mika Limassuria. So Mika Limassuria is unfortunately out of contention now for the podium. But, and I've just been informed in my ear that Goodyear is another eye liveries done by Dwan himself. So another one of eye liveries rolling around in the field tonight. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is on for second and third position. The last spots on the podium. There is a train happening. Jamie Davis, Nicky G check out for the boys, but then Jonathan Bain and Tony Gaffer close right back up on that gap again, coming into the final sectors of the track. So what's that going to bring? Lap 20 of 21 now. Only 2 laps to go.
4 seconds off Scholesy, so I think he's got it, but can these two push each other along and maybe try and get him at the end of the last lap? I doubt it, but stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened, you never know. Matty Scholes here is a clean-cut driver out front. And almost 7 seconds now over Jamie Davis there and Nicky G in second and third. There he is in the background on the screen, checking out down the hill. Big elevation changes around here as they fly through. Tyres are starting to scream for mercy. Jamie Davis collects a little bit of grass. Nicky G tucks up under the rear wing. Does he gonna have a look? Nah, stays behind Jamie for now. Follows him around again for another lap as they go to come over on to the final lap for the Silverstone 120, brought to you by the Goodyear Autocare Warana. Jamie Davis through the last corner. Nicky G through the last corner now. White flag for Matty Scholes is now out. Matty Scholes on the white flag. He's played the game. He rolled the dice. He played it smart. He took the gamble and pitted early, and it has paid off dividends. 6 seconds to the lead to Jamie Davis, and he has done the Reina Costello again. Back-to-back nights of the leaders checking out around Silverstone. What a superb drive by this man. He thought smart, and it has paid. Andrew?
Done pretty well. He won 2 in a row not long ago. I think in the first 2 I was in, and then had a bit of trouble in the last one, but back up the front again, showing why he is up the front in the points as well, chasing down the championship.
Proving that he's here to stay, proving that he can show it to the boys in the Super Series, and also prove to the boys that he, even though he has a bad race one week, doesn't mean it's going to be like that for the rest of the season. To the top step this man goes. Jamie Davis and Nicky G still battling it out. Looks like that's died off a little bit. Only half a second gap though, so might be onto the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have 5 or 6 seconds to be able to watch that once Matty Scholes comes over the line to take the checkered flag for the Silverstone 120. And what
Just
a
seen in
race
the
it
background
has
there.
been. Down the straight he goes one last time. Blows the brakes up as bright as he can. Here we go. Look at on in the background.
Oh,
Up the front he
right
goes.
across the nose.
Stephen Martin, or Robbie Bradbury and Dan Stevens. My apologies. There we go. Matty Scholes takes the checkered flag for the Silverstone 120. 21 laps later, rolled the dice, and it's
Rush
paid
it
off.
there,
What the
right.
across the line he goes. Here we go. Nicky G,
Oh,
Jamie Davis
oh.
across the finish line. They go nose to nose. What's it going to be?
Wow, that was close.
Jamie Davis by a hair. Jamie Davis by a hair over Nicky G. Matty Skull, Jonathan Bain, in fourth. Tony Gaffer in fifth. Dan Stevens in sixth. Robbie Bradbury and Stephen Martin bring in seventh and eighth. Rico Lemasuria, unfortunate night for him. He's down in ninth position. Made the top 10 though. That's still championship points though. Kai Turner rounding out the top 10. But your man on screen, Matty Skulls, Riot Sim Racing, he's only been doing this for 12 months, boys. And he is a championship contender right now.
Moved up 20 spots, Matty. That's unbelievable. And the talent in the field there, it's plus 20 positions, so might not be right. Not right now. I thought he started higher up. So we've had
we had a timing board crash on our end, so everything's decided to get thrown our way tonight. Quick recap quickly before we get the drivers into the room and we'll get the unofficial results up. Pete, your driver of the night. Who's your driver of the night, and what were your thoughts of the race quickly?
Race lived up to its hype, Matty. There was battles everywhere, in particular them 2 5-car battles that we touched on. But I think it's Scholes for the win. But I think Nicky G had a pretty good drive. But I'll probably go with the winner. I think Matt Scholes. I think driver for my vote anyway.
Andrew.
Yeah, very similar. Nicky G he was in battle in pretty much most of the race, whereas Golsey seemed to have it his own way for a fair bit at the end there. So I think I'll go with Nicky G.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one to choose. Nicky G with a stellar race. Matty Scholes with a stellar race. Tony Gaffer with a stellar race as though. He's up in 5th position, so he's had a superb race as well. Along with a couple guys we really don't see up in the top 10. But how's this for the chopper angle following Matty Scholes at the moment? You can't get much better than that. Oh, drone cam, my apologies. The chopper cam, drone cam, they both have rotors on it, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. So I think a couple people at home is going to agree with me on that one. Matty Scholes, tip it in, son. You deserve this. You rolled the dice and it paid off. Congratulations, mate. Light those Dunlop tyres up and enjoy this victory.
Not bad.
We'll get the unofficial results up on screen as well for you in just a moment's time. We'll let you enjoy the show that Matty Scholes is about to put on. He has got the fuel in the tank as well to be able to do it. His pit stop was only 15 seconds. That's not where you want to go, mate. Into the grass. Come on, back out on track. Nah, that's it. I escaped. I've made a fool of myself.
Oh, man, I just gave him the commentator's curse and said he's all good at
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Goodyear Autocare Warana V8T2 E-Series around the Silverstone circuit in the UK. That is it for now in the UK for us. But here it is, the unofficial results. Matty Scholes in first, Jamie Davis in second, Nicky G in third with a stellar race, Jonathan Bain and Tony Gaffer in fifth. Dan Stevens in 6th and 7th position was Robbie Bradbury. 8th position was Stephen Martin. Miko Lemasuria with a fantastic drive from towards the back of the field to make it up back into the top 10 in 9th position. And Kai Turner as well in 10th. All right, over to the next page. And we will see Peter Kelly from the NCS in 11th, Stephen Banks in 12th. 13th was Mitch Campbell, Dan Alessi in 14th, Aaron Raccanello in 15th. Not far behind him was Sam Noble from the 9-5 boys. Robert Brewer in 17th, Philip Dalton in 18th, Brian Good in 19th, and in 20th position is Colin Bruns, a minute down the track from the leaders. not too far till we get into the lap cars. There we go, 23 cars on the lead lap. Colin Bruns in 20th, Todd Martin in 21st, Paul Gerlin in 22nd, Dean Reddit in 23rd, and Dylan Pereira in 24th. Something must have happened to Dean Pereira as well, because he was running up there towards the top 10 and then dropped down significantly. So Dean Reddit down there in 23rd. Dylan Pereira, the first of the lap cars, 14 laps down in 24th position. Stephen Black in 25th. Andrew Johnson, 26th. Craig Caspar in 27th. Rehan Leonage in 28th. And then our safety car driver in the Lamborghini GT3 miles down. And I believe Anton Gilbert as well was in this race. He has dropped out. I believe he crashed off into the wall at some stage. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Davis, Matty Scholes, and Nicky G, our podium sitters in the booth with us now. We'll start off with you, Nicky. Mate, stellar race, another podium for you. Obviously leading the championship at the moment. This is going to help you extend your championship lead.
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect for to maintain the gap in the championship lead. That was only 1 point last round. Definitely wasn't expecting to be this high up today after quali, but the strategy definitely paid out.
The strategy did pay out. You pitted early with all the rest of the drivers. It did prompt you down the field just a bit, but it was the fuel window to play with. It was lap 8. You guys knew you could get home on that tank of fuel. We were punching calculations in here, and it's paid off with substantial results. It's dropped Mika and Kai Turner, who were big contenders for the race as well. If they had pitted at the same time as you guys, would have made your job a little bit more difficult to get up to the top of the field there. So excellent strategy on that one. How did the car go around Silverstone? We know it's a big tyre degradation track. It's tricky to get around. There's a lot of elevation change as well that you don't really see on screen, but you do feel in the car. So how's Silverstone for you, and how's the car perform around there?
The car was good. You definitely couldn't push it too hard. You could definitely cause some tyre damage by pushing too hard, like those last few laps when I was having a battle with Jamie. You could just like go to put the throttle on that little bit earlier, and it just doesn't work. You're hanging the rear out and just burn up your tyres. But if you were to drive like calm, and the car would feel good throughout the whole stint, I reckon.
There it is. Cool, calm and collected, ladies and gentlemen, is the way to tackle these V8 supercars. 650 horsepower of V8 muscle around a circuit designed for a high downforce car. Not these big tanks that we decide to throw around. So stick with us, Nicky. We'll get back to you with a couple more questions later on in the post race. We'll try and have an early one as well for you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try not go too late. Let everybody have an early night. Let the drivers have an early night, and especially let our director have an early night. He's putting in some big hours lately to get this series to you guys, amongst doing all his schooling as well on the outside. Jamie, mate, congratulations, second position. Absolutely stellar race. Again, it's good to see you back in the series and still showing it up to the boys. How did you find tonight, and what was your highlight from tonight's race?
Thank you very much, mate. Tonight I was struggling during quali. It wasn't until the end I managed to put a lap in to be in the top 10. And then, once that second safety car was called, I just thought, I just have to risk it, just throw it in the pit lane and hopefully do a bit of fuel saving and get to the end.
Do you have anyone in your ear, or did you have someone punch some numbers for you quickly on that second lap of the safety car there for the second car, for the second safety car for the race as well? We had 2 tonight, which was surprising. It's not often we do see 2 out on track. Did you have someone punch some numbers for you to be able to tell you, yep, you can get home, or did you do all that before the race and try and calculate it in your head on the fly?
No, I had my teammate watching in, and he said, Pit, you'll make it. And then when I was coming down pit lane, he's just like, I wasn't sure, I just wanted you to pit.
What a great teammate.
It worked in the end, didn't it?
That's an absolute crack up. That is a crack up. Doesn't matter if you don't get home, mate. Just put it into the pit, so you'll be right. So that's it's obviously paid off for you, mate, because you've got second place. So you can definitely thank your teammate on that one. for helping you out. So how do you find Silverstone? I mean, it's not a favourite of mine, as I like to say. I said it with Donington. I'll say it with Silverstone. It's a great track. He'd be the bloke who designed it. It's a tricky one. How do you go as a driver, tackling that?
I was just trying to look after the rear tyres. As long as you can look after your rear tyres, you'll get good traction down the long straights and try and pick up good slipstream.
Slipstream, obviously a big one as well. There's a couple long straights here, so I'm not sure. You really didn't get too much of a slipstream on any driver, but I'm sorry, I'm just reading a message that I got from our director there as well. You didn't get too much of a slipstream, but you did have a good battle there with Nicky. So the slipstream a big part in around Silverstone to try and get these moves done, because there is very limited overtaking opportunities, as we saw tonight.
Yeah, the slipstream helped a bit once you were close enough, but as long as you get over that half a second gap down the straight, you were pretty safe.
Good stuff. We'll get back to you as well. We'll get Peter and to ask away some questions as well. We'll get Matty Scholes, our race winner, in quickly, and then we'll get Pete to hand over to Pete and get him to ask a couple questions and get you guys rolling on that one. Matty, mate, congratulations on another win for the series, as we see you in the pits there under the safety car. Obviously, you were the first out of everybody to take the dive into the pits. What were your thoughts going in? Was it a teammate situation like Jamie, where the boys just said, "Nah, mate, you be right," or I just want to see you pit, or was it an actual calculated number for you?
It wasn't a calculated number. I was actually talking to Dean, and I was sort of hoping we were going to go one more lap under the safety car, but it just turned out that I ended up getting a little bit of a gap there, so I did a big fuel save in the middle there, which gave me enough to get home pretty comfortably. So yeah, it was good.
Good stuff. Obviously, it's being out the front and over the race, and obviously leading. It's a little bit harder to save. You don't have much of a slipstream to be able to carry you into the corners. How do you go about obviously fuel saving and getting around here out the front? Was it a lot of lifting early into the corners, or clutching in just to be able to coast into the corners and save fuel towards the end of the race?
Yeah, I was sort of done it in a couple of waves where once I'd get the lead out to sort of 6 seconds, I'd really concentrate for 2 or 3 laps of, like you say, lifting well before and doing as much fuel saving as I could for a couple of laps at a time. Then basically, yeah, try to build it back up to that sort of 5 or 6 seconds before I'd start doing it again. So I ended up, I think, what did I have, 3 litres left to do the cool down lap and a very small burnout, so it was good.
Oh, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. 3 litres left in the tank for our race winner, Matty Scholes. Running on the smell of an oily rag, almost just enough to do a burnout though, and give us a little bit of a show. Pete, I'll hand it over to you, mate. I'll let you ask Matty, Nick, and Jamie a couple questions, and then we'll get into the Andrew as well. I forgot that he was sitting in here. He's up the top there, nice and quiet. We'll get Andrew to ask away a couple questions as well, if he has any for the boys, and then we'll get into some unofficial championship. Sorry. Excuse me, it's unofficial championship results and our points, and look forward to or look ahead to Road Atlanta and what the end of the championship's going to bring for these boys.
Yeah, Nicky G and Davis. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jamie Davis. This one's for you. Did you was your fuel that tight that you sort of had to pull back with that little battle in the last couple of laps? Because we noticed you two had a good duel in the closing couple of laps. Were you thinking about fuel, or were you just going to go for broke and see what happened?
No, straight out of the pits, I clutched it behind the safety car and then spent the first couple of laps just trying to lift off, short shift and all that to make sure I did have enough, and then once I knew I had enough, just went for it.
Yeah, behind the safety car I was clutching as well, but once I got to the back of Jamie, I was sort of using his slipstream to have a bit of fuel. Without that, I don't know if I would have made it, to be honest. But once I realised I had maybe 1 lap spare to do the cool down lap, I sort of started to push him a bit, and yeah, gave it a crack.
He's definitely turned it on for us too in the last couple of laps. That was awesome. And Scholes, mate, I don't really have much for you. Matty covered it pretty much what I was going to ask anyway. But Andrew, if you got anything, mate.
I'd just give the boys an opportunity to thank anyone, all their sponsors and teammates and
Definitely.
anyone with that. So we'll start with you, Nicky, and then we'll go to Jamie and Matty.
Yep. I just want to thank JP Simshed, of course, for letting me drive within an awesome team. It's a good team to drive for. Obviously want to thank Goodyear Autocare Warana for the sponsoring of the series and the major backing of my car that I drive. Simshed Broadcasting for putting on an awesome broadcast every week for all the series that he looks after. Dragon RC, DSL Welding Services, Abruzzi Australia, Nationwide Technology Systems, VR Covers, Cars for Hope, Racing with Autism Australia, Blue Stampede Paper Hire. Also want to thank you three for jumping in the commentary booth and giving everyone a good show at home.
It's our pleasure, mate, that's for sure. Jamie, got a few thank yous for the boys down at AutoServe?
Yeah, thank you to everyone in AutoServe, all the teammates, my mentor Max Havett, my spotter Tyson, and yeah, quick shout out to my old man, the safety car driver for Tuesday nights. Happy birthday, mate.
Hey, well, there we go. We got a birthday boy sitting in the booth. Oh, in the safety car last night. That was Lee Davis. So there we are. And also, don't forget to thank your mate for the awesome pit stop strategy.
Teammate
well.
for awesome, yeah, good call on the
Yeah,
strategy.
thanks, Tyson. Thanks, mate.
Skulls in, mate. Round out the sponsors. Thank you on that one, and we'll look forward to some championship points, which should be not too far away.
Yeah, I'll just thank Goodyear Autocare Warana, the Sim Shed, the broadcasting, mate, F Suicide, and a little special thanks to Nashi for not showing up and being in New Zealand. It was good. Didn't have to compete with him.
David Ash probably sitting over there and cursing and swearing at you right now, going, "That's probably my race win sitting there."
Yeah, he was quick all week in the officials too.
There we go. Looking forward to the championship points now. We're going to be having a smiling man in the booth who finished up in third position tonight by the looks of it. Nicky G extends that lead substantially. 30 points over Matty Skulls. Matty, you've got a bit of work to do there, mate. Rian Leonage unfortunately ejected from the race from some internet issues by the looks of it. Sitting down in third position there, so no points scored for him tonight. But don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the drop rounds that do come into play. So that is one thing we'll look forward to. Dan Stevens in fourth position there, Kai Turner in fifth. David Nash, hello to you, mate. You're down in sixth position now due to your missed race, but I'm sure you'll be coming back fighting stronger than ever next week as we head to Road Atlanta. Tony Gaffer in 17th, Alessi in 8th, Jonathan Bain in 9th, and Daryl Hockey in 10th, rounding out the top 10 there. We'll let them scroll through over to the next page. Sam Noble in 11th, Damien Cairns in 12th, Dean Reddit in 13th, 14th is Colin Bruns. Dylan Pereira, unfortunate racing tonight for him, down in 15th position. Stephen Martin in 16th. Mitch Campbell from the 9-5 Simsport boys, he's down in 17th. Aaron Hayden in 18th. Aaron Raccanello in 19th. Robbie Bradbury in the top 20 there, holding steadily with 1,190 points. Onto the next page we go. Andrew Johnson from E1 Sim Sports in 21st. 22nd, Robert Brewer. Jamie Davis in 23rd. 24th, Tommy Foster. 25th, Peter Kelly. 26 positions, Paul Gerlin. 27th is Craig Caspar. Stephen Blackdown, 28th. Dylan Lagarde in 29th. And Toddy Martin in 30th position. A massive field for the GAC boys here. Over 40 drivers. Shane Clark in 31st. Brian Good, 32nd. Troy Allen, 33rd. 34th, Peter Latham. Max Losh, 35. David Clark, 36. Trent McCarthy, 37th. 38th, Dean Williams. 39th, Stephen Banks. And 40th position is Danny Vassell. Only 30 drivers tonight in the field, 40 on the championship points there. So obviously had a few drivers missing tonight from the race. But next week, we head back to the States. We throw the cars on the car carriers. We send them off to the airport, send them all the way back over to the States again as we head to Road Atlanta for an amazing track out there. It is tight. It is undulating. It is twisty. not many overtaking opportunities at all. So it is going to be throwing up some action-packed racing for you, ladies and gentlemen. Then after that, we head to Spa, Brands Hatch, and then finish it up in Down Under for the Enduro Triple Crown at Mount Panorama Bathurst. Boys, looking to next week, Nicky, Road Atlanta, a favourite of yours?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I haven't done many laps in a supercar, but the couple laps I have done, I did love it. And every other car I drive around there, it's just an awesome track. I love it. Yeah, it's going to be good.
One of my favourites as well, mate. I might actually look at having to have a crack at the NTS after my hot lap I do for the boys in the Super Series. Jamie Davis looking into Road Atlanta as we see one of the Century Motorsports boys have a massive slide on screen there and a fantastic save. Road Atlanta, it's a tricky one. Lots of practice going to be going into that one.
Yeah, not a fan of it in the supercar. If we can do LMP2s, I'd love it then, but yeah, I might chuck a few laps this week to get acclimatised to it.
It's definitely hard to throw a bus as well. The Century Motorsport boys goes around again. They're going around left, right, and centre. Matty Skulls, it's a tyre degradation track around Road Atlanta. It's a little bit like Silverstone. It's not a high grip track. You tend to lose the back end quite a lot around there. Is it a favourite that you're looking forward to?
Oh, I won't say I'm looking forward to it, but it's definitely one that I know. So, yeah, we'll just see how we go, I think.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 out of 3 drivers say they don't like it. One of the drivers says he loves it. So that's going to be making interesting racing already. If you were already hearing that go on, it is almost 9:45 at night. Not much to really go on about that. I said we'd have an early night, so let's wrap it up nice and quickly on this one and let everybody at home in the booth tonight and all the drivers have a nice early night. I don't think I've missed anything. Sorry, JP. The schedule as well. Yes, before I do round it out, we'll bring up the schedule for what's going to be happening on Saturday night on Weekend Warriors for the Cup Car Racing, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, brought to you by the Simshed Broadcasting crew. I believe Aidan Schultz and Andrew and Peter might even be in that one for Saturday night. So join those boys for a little bit of Cup Car Racing, a little bit of Oval, I believe, and then come back and join Zach, Chris, and I will most likely be in the commentary booth for a hot lap that night as well for the Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series from 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Times. And then we back it up again on Wednesday for the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8T2 E-Series live to you at 8:20 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Times. So it is action-packed week coming up for Road Atlanta in the States. As we finish up with the Silverstone for the Silverstone 120, joined by Peter and Andrew and JP on the buttons in the background. I am Matt Davis. Thank you very much for joining me for another action-packed night of unbelievable racing. Nicky G, Jamie Davis, Matty Scholes taking out the podium. Matty Scholes doing a Reina Costello, bolting over the front field there by over 5 seconds. We'll see you over in the States. Get a good sleep because you're going to be needing it next week. Enjoy the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and good night.
Well done to you, Matty.